got a very special one here today. This is one, I love this airplane. It is absolutely beautiful. One of the best looking flying machines ever made. G'day guys, how you going? Welcome back to Hearns TV. It's me again, Dan, and I've got another unboxing video for you because that's pretty much what I always do. And of course guys, I've got here the stunning F-106 made by the people at Convair. Yes, called the Delta Dart because of its triangle shaped wings, which is called Delta wings. Yeah, what a stunning aircraft this was. It was actually a development from the original Delta Dagger, which was the F-102, which wasn't a very good plane. And yeah, this was an improvement thereof. And it was originally called the F-102B, but it was later redesignated the F-106A Delta Dart. This thing came about as a need for a pure interceptor. It's a fighter, but purely in interception purposes. So it would take off high speed, close the gap with the opponent, launch missiles, turn around and come back. It really wasn't a dogfighter at all. Not a lot of versatility built into it, but what it did quite well. Yeah, and it first flew in about 1956, entered service about 1959, I think, and was used all the way up to 1988, and NASA used it for research purposes until 1998. So yeah, anyway, well, I'll tell you more about the F-106 as we go along. And let's have a look at what's on the inside of the box. So yeah, all right guys, this is a 48 scale model kit made by the good people at Trumpeter. And you've got all the dimensions here, just there. And you can see how beautiful the box art is on the front. There's the F-106 intercepting a Russian bomber. It looks like a Tupolev 95. Oh, it could be a 144, the naval version from the end of the nose. But anyway, Trumpeter. I always got to give Trumpeter snaps for their fantastic box art. I think Trumpeter, Meng, and Tamiya probably have some of the best box art. It makes it very attractive. Makes you really want to, when you see how cool the front of the box is, you think, yeah, I want to build that. But anyway, all right, let's have a look on the inside. All right, set that over there. That can go there. All right, let's have a look at the instructions like we usually do. And there we see the F-106A Delta Dart. And, there you go. Look at that. Look at how gorgeous that, actually, that comes out. Yeah, look at the beautiful, nice and smooth, streamlined. So you can, from the outside, even if you don't know anything about aircraft, like you can look at this thing and you can really tell this is built for speed. And fast it most certainly was. 2,455 kilometers an hour maximum speed. Yeah, and these are some of its weapons. Just there. That's the that's the Air 2 Genie, and that's the AIM 4 Falcon. I'll tell you more about them later when we get to them in the kit. And yeah, external fuel tanks. Yeah, amazing performance on this aircraft when it came to speed. Love the, look at the red. Like this, that looks like the Air National Guard. Also, when I said it was retired in 1988, that was the Air National Guard. It was withdrawn from Air Force frontline service before then. I don't remember the date, but yeah, I love that red. It's so very striking. Red looks really good on jets. All right, let's have a look at some of the instructions. There we go, black and white. A4. There's the ejection, so the pilot's seat, cockpit, landing gear, and you see it all coming together. Oh, look at that. There it is there. Yeah, what a really beautiful, sleek shape. And that's the in-flight refueling. Oh, photo etch. Trumpeter's very good for that as well. Photo etch for all the straps that would go on the pilot's seat. The cockpit underneath. Yeah, very good. And the weapons bay, internal weapons bay. I'll show you some more of that in a minute. All right, let's have a look at the, all right, that can wait. The decals can wait. let's have a look at the pieces. Now, check this out. Here is the fuselage. 48 scale. There's, you can see in between my hands. This is a decent sized kit, actually. It was a fairly big plane, actually. And then you can see how smooth and streamlined the F-106 was. Here's the air intakes there. Let's see, and the details here, I don't know if what the light can show you. They're indented just a little bit. Oh, and there's a little bit raised as well. Can't see too much of the rivets. That looks like the where the in-flight refueling would be at the very, just there, at the top of the aircraft there, and behind the pilot. And some of the control surfaces for the wing. Part of the, well, looks like the interior of the cockpit, just there. Yeah, it's very nice. Ah, and that's the frame that the canopy would sit on. The F-106 pure interceptor. It was the last pure interceptor made for the US Air Force. After the F-106, once the F-15, the F-16, and so on and so forth started coming into their inventory, they wanted more versatile aircraft that could do more than just intercept. They could, you know, dogfight and strike ground attack ground targets as well. Yeah. And here we have the wings. There again, Delta wings, nice, smooth triangle shape. Indented panels, nice details there, some riveting. Here's where the landing gear would retract. That's the upper part of the wing just there. Leading edge, trailing edge. Very nice. I like that it's very smooth finish on this kit. Very, very nice. Sometimes they can be a little bit rough, but this is very smooth. Here, this is where the internal weapons bay would be. The F-106 didn't carry any external weapons stores. It had to stay as streamlined as possible to maintain its speed. It was more of a bomber interceptor, actually. That's what it was, to intercept Soviet bombers that were going to drop a nuclear payload on the United States, part of Tactical Air Command, I think. I'm sure if I got that wrong, I'll find out about it in the comments section below. Now let's have a look at another sprue. There we've got the air intakes there. And then more, here's the tail. Yeah. Single vertical tail. And we've got more control surfaces for the wings and for the, obviously, and there. For the tail as well. Here we go. Some of the internal details. Look at that. Very true to form. Oh, nice. The hydraulic lines. Excellent. Yeah, beautiful. The F-106, like I was saying, about 350 were made, or probably just under. There was an original order for 1,000 of them, but the Air Force cut the order back when, well, its performance was really good, but not quite as good as they wanted it to be. And even though it wasn't quite as good as they wanted it to be, the F-4 Phantom was in such high demand in combat in Vietnam and in several other scenarios. Its presence was required that the F-106 stayed in frontline service for quite a while, a few decades actually. And here we got another sprue. Here's the engine. There's the radome on the nose, and yeah, and the engine just there. The engine's pretty simple, not too many details in that, so you couldn't have it as a. Oh dear, that's come off. Yeah, you couldn't have. I know I've shown you several other models where the engine has all of the details, so you can have the aircraft and then the engine sitting next to it, or the the panels open up so you can see the engine underneath, but not this one. Anyway, there, what else have we got here? We've got parts of landing gear, just there. This looks like the turkey feathers at the rear. or the exhaust port for the engine. More of the internals. This would be inside the front, where the front nose landing wheel would be. More landing gear. And these look like parts of the doors that would cover over the landing gear, and an arrestor hook. It actually had a drag chute as well. The F-106, I'm pretty sure. Don't forget the radome. Yeah. What else do we got? The cockpit. Just there. There's the cockpit. And this looks to be where more of the internals. I think this is where where the cockpit would sit inside of there. Very nice. And there's the instrumentation. Instrumentation just there. Cool. There was as far as I know, there were two versions of the F-106, the A and the B. The B was the two-seater model for training, conversion training. There was Convair actually tried to pitch several other variants, upgraded variants of the F-106, or up to the E and the F model, I'm pretty sure. But the Air Force rejected them, actually, and they wanted to focus more on the F4. But they did do some upgrades. I know that eventually in 1972, I think a gun was added, and the cockpit, I'll show you a little bit later, the frame was simplified to improve the pilot's view, which is a rather essential part of operating the aircraft. Now we're getting close to the end. Now see here, these sprues here, we've got some of the wheels for the landing gear. And it looks to be the pilot. Yes. Yeah, see the wheels. Leave that one up. There's the wheels there for the landing gear. More landing gear there. And these are just for the exterior. They help to stabilize it in flight. And there's the pilot seat. Just there. Very nice. And more of the same. Oh wait, or maybe that's not the pilot seat, because we've got a second one there. Now, the weapons. Now, this is something I've been looking forward to showing you. Not a lot of, like I said, not a lot of variety in the weapons payload for the F-106. Here we have the, obviously, external fuel tanks that actually sat very close to the wing, so that way it could travel at maximum speed with minimal drag from the airflow. And extend its range at the same time. Now, interesting arsenal on the F-106, and we've got them here. Now, move that up. I'll show you here. This is the Air 2 Genie. This is a rocket that had a 1.5 kiloton nuclear warhead on it. And the idea behind this was that they'd shoot this at incoming Soviet bombers. The explosion was immense. The flash would have blinded any pilot that was looking at it for quite some distance. The shockwave would have not only knocked out one bomb, but several bombers. And the EMP, or the electromagnetic pulse, would have fried all the electricity with other bombers in the area and made them fall out of the sky. So one stone, many birds was the concept behind this. This was in the US arsenal up until 1985, I think. 1963, 65 is when it came into service, and they had them in their arsenal all the way up to 1985. And so did the Canadian Air Force. The Canadian Air Force used these as well. Yeah, and this was its primary missile for intercepting of enemy targets, the AIM-4 Falcon. This came in both infrared and radar-guided variants. It had a range of about 10 kilometers. And I have to be honest when I say its combat record was pretty bad, actually. The F-106 never did any combat, but the AIM-4 did. It was used early on in the Vietnam War, and its hit ratio was pretty bad. actually. It was meant to shoot down rather slow-moving, non-agile bombers. So when F-4Ds and whoever used them tried to shoot down very fast, very agile fighter jets of the North Vietnamese Air Force, they were not very successful. And the AIM-4 Falcon was taken out of service. Not long after that, actually, in favour of the AIM-9 Sidewinder, which is still with us to this day, actually. The AIM-9 Sidewinder is a very successful air-to-air missile. The newer, the most recent ones are pretty amazing. I'll tell you about them one time. But yeah, so that's that sprue. And yeah, and then just the last one there for the more of the weapons. And then we got in here, I won't take, you can't really see them, I won't take them out because the canopy, I want to protect it, but it's, yeah, they're in there. It had a triangle shaped for forward, high speed forward, but there was this huge steel bar that went right down the dead center of where the pilot looked, and they had the windows there so it could maintain that pointed forward look about it, so it could go really fast. So it did limit the pilot's view. Now, like I was saying earlier, they did rectify that eventually. And here, lastly, the decal right there. And there's that beautiful red swoosh that would go onto the tail just there. Yeah. And obviously the US Air Force, National Guard markings as well. Yeah, excellent. That's that. What a cool kit. What a cool plane. Really like the F-106. Yeah, like I said, it didn't do any combat. Wasn't all that versatile, but it was a really cool looking fighter jet, and it was so fast. Very sleek. And yeah, it did its part, and now it's part of aviation history. But cool. All right, thanks for tuning in again, guys, and I hope you really liked this video. I really enjoyed making this one. Haven't done any videos for a while because I've just been so busy doing a lot of things around the store. But speaking of the store, I hope to see you in the store sometime soon. Can't wait for you to tune in next time. And as always, rock and roll. Ciao.